Whispers in the shadow. The weight of responsibility bore down on Selena, a relentless pressure that threatened to crush her. The council, though outwardly compliant, seethed with unease. Every glance, every carefully worded phrase, was a subtle jab, a reminder that she was walking on a tightrope, one misstep away from losing the power she had fought so hard to claim. To make matters worse, the war raged on, devouring resources and lives with insatiable hunger. In the midst of this turmoil, Selena found an unexpected solace in her secret meetings with Xylon. He was an outsider, an enemy even, but he possessed a clarity of vision that the others lacked. He saw Aethelgard not as a battlefield, but as a world worth saving, a world where peace, however fragile, was possible. These clandestine encounters took place in the hidden alcoves of the Blackface Fortress, places steeped in the clan's dark history, yet offering a semblance of privacy. Surrounded by shadows, they would pore over maps, analyze troop deployments, and debate strategies. But their discussions went far beyond military tactics. Selena found herself drawn to Xylon's unwavering commitment to justice, his unshakable belief in the power of compassion. He challenged her long-held assumptions, forcing her to question everything she thought she knew about the world. "Why do you fight, Selena?" he asked her one night, his blue eyes piercing through the darkness. "Is it for power? For revenge? Or for something more?" Selena hesitated, taken aback by the directness of his question. She had never truly examined her own motives, too consumed by the immediate task of survival. She looked at Xylon, and for the first time, she saw not an enemy, but a reflection of her own buried humanity. "I fight for my people," she replied, her voice soft, "to protect them from extinction. But at what cost?" Xylon countered, "By perpetuating the cycle of violence. Are you not simply condemning them to a slow and agonizing death?" His words stung, but Selena knew that he spoke the truth. She was caught in a trap, using the same brutal methods as her father, even though she despised him for it. Xylon, in turn, was captivated by Selena's raw strength, her fierce determination, and her unwavering loyalty to her clan. He recognized the weight of her responsibility and admired her willingness to bear it, even when it threatened to break her. "The darkness is a part of you, Selena," he said, reaching out to gently touch the demon scale's mark on her back. "But it does not define you. You have the power to choose a different path." In these secret meetings, Selena and Xylon began to learn from each other, to understand each other, and to even, perhaps, trust each other. He shared his knowledge of pure blood technology and strategy, offering insights that the demon scales had never considered. She, in turn, revealed the hidden strengths of her clan, the power of the shadows, and the unbreakable bond of loyalty that held them together. However, their alliance was a dangerous secret, one that could shatter the fragile stability of both clans. Every meeting was a risk, every word a potential betrayal. One night, while reviewing the reports of escalating border skirmishes, Xylon noticed a pattern, a subtle shift in the Pureblood clan's tactics. It was as if they were deliberately provoking the demon scales, trying to incite them into a full-scale war. "This is a trap," Xylon said, his voice urgent. "The Pureblood Council wants to provoke you, to give them an excuse to launch a devastating attack." Selena frowned, her eyes narrowing. "Why would they do that?" "They fear you," Xylon replied. "They fear your strength, your independence. They know that you are not easily controlled, and that you might even be willing to consider peace. They want to eliminate you, to restore the old order." Selena felt a chill run down her spine. She had always known that there were forces within the Pureblood clan who opposed her, but she hadn't realized how desperate they were. "What do you suggest?" she asked, turning to Xylon for advice. "We need to expose their treachery," Xylon said. "We need to show both clans that there are those who are actively working to sabotage any chance of peace." Selena nodded, a grim determination settling in her eyes. "Then that is what we will do. But we must be careful. Our every move will be watched. We cannot afford to make any mistakes." And so, Selena and Xylon, the unlikeliest of allies, began to weave their own web of intrigue, a dangerous game of deception and counter-deception, all in the hope of saving a world that seemed determined to destroy itself. They stepped deeper into the shadows, knowing that their actions could either unite Aethelgard or plunge it into a final, irreversible darkness. Situation assessment: a soldier among royalty. The 4 gray stone walls, carved with grotesque images of shadow monsters and bloody battles, confined Carter within an alien world. The room, according to Selena, was where the female leader received important guests. But for Carter, it felt more like a dark box, where all light and hope were stifled. After the unexpected encounter at the wreckage, Selena had brought Carter to Black Face Fortress, where she reigned as the female leader of the Demon Scale clan. Although he had been treated kindly, given food, water, and a place to rest, he still felt an indescribable unease. He was an outsider, an interloper, and he knew that he was walking a tightrope. Any carelessness could cause him to fall into the abyss. Now, he was waiting for Selena in this somber room. He didn't know what she wanted, nor did he know whether he could trust her. But he knew that he had to be careful, keep his mind clear, and be ready for any situation. Footsteps echoed outside the door, pulling Carter from his wandering thoughts. He stood up straight, clenching his fists, preparing himself for the coming conversation. The door opened, and Selena entered, her demeanor dignified and magnificent. She had changed out of the battle armor, stained with ash, for a long dress of black silk, embroidered with intricate patterns in silver thread. The demon scales mark on her back still burned brightly, but today it no longer carried a terrifying appearance, but became strangely seductive. "Carter Holt," Selena spoke, her voice no longer as cold as the first time they had met, but softer, perhaps even friendly. "Thank you for waiting." "The female leader is too kind," Carter replied, trying to keep his voice from trembling. "I am deeply honored to be received." Selena approached, stopping in front of Carter. She looked up at him, her blazing red eyes examining him from head to toe. "You are not like other purebloods I have met," she said. "You don't appear arrogant, nor do you appear afraid. What are you?" Carter took a deep breath, trying to keep any emotion from showing on his face. "I'm just a soldier," he said. "I believe in what I am doing, and I am ready to fight to protect those beliefs." "What do you believe in?" Selena asked, her gaze growing even more probing. "I believe in peace," Carter said. "I believe in justice. I believe that the Demon Scale clan and the Pureblood clan can live together if we are willing to try." Selena remained silent for a moment, then suddenly laughed. "You are still that idealistic?" she said, her voice full of sarcasm. "You truly believe that you can change the world with just pretty words?" "I believe that words have power," Carter replied. "But I also know that actions are much more important. I am willing to prove what I say with actions, if you give me the chance." Selena looked at Carter intently, as if she were weighing his words. "Then what will you do?" she asked. "What will you do to prove that you are not a deceiver?" Carter remained silent for a moment, thinking. "Let me help you," he said. "Let me use my knowledge and experience to help you solve the problems that the Demon Scale clan is facing. Let me show you that I can become an ally and not an enemy." Selena frowned. "You want to help me?" she asked, her voice full of doubt. "Why would you want to do that? Are you not afraid that I will take advantage of you?" "Maybe," Carter admitted, "but I also believe that you are not such a person. I have seen kindness in your eyes, female leader. I believe that you also want peace, also want a better future for Aethelgard." Selena remained silent for a moment, then sighed. "You are truly a difficult person to understand," she said. "But I must also admit that I am curious to know what you will do. I will give you a chance to prove yourself. But don't disappoint me." "I will not disappoint you," Carter replied, a faint smile spreading across his lips. Selena nodded, then turned and walked away. "Follow me," she said. "I have much work to do." Carter followed Selena, leaving the somber room and beginning a new chapter in his life. He knew that he was stepping into a world filled with dangers and challenges. But he also knew that he was in the right place, beside the woman who could change the fate of all of Aethelgard. As he stepped out the door, one of the soldiers stepped forward, bowed and whispered to Carter. She doesn't like to be around strangers. You must be important. Trial by fire. Xylon's warning about the impending attack struck Blackface Fortress like a lightning bolt. Selena, after a brief moment of hesitation, acted with the speed and decisiveness that only Knight's Edge could muster. Clear-cut orders were issued. Troops were deployed to the border. Defensive lines were fortified, and dark mages were summoned to strengthen the magical wards. The entire Blackface Fortress shook in the enormous machinery of war. Every gear, every link tightened to prepare for the coming storm. Xylon, though still an outsider, was entrusted with an important mission. He was tasked with training the demon-scale warriors, imparting to them the skills and tactics he had learned from the Pureblood clan. Initially, his presence caused waves of outrage and dissatisfaction. The demon-scale warriors, who were used to fighting by instinct and strength, found it difficult to accept the disciplined and methodical tactics that Xylon proposed. "Why must we listen to a pureblood?" A young warrior named Dagon questioned Xylon during the first training session. "What does he know about our war?" "I know about war," Xylon replied, his voice calm but firm. "I have witnessed the terrible things it can cause, and I believe that there is a way to win without sacrificing everything." "You lie," Dagon growled. "Only strength can bring victory. You are just a weakling trying to deceive us." "If you think so, then prove it," Xylon said, drawing his energy sword from its sheath. "I will fight you. If you win, I will leave here immediately." Dagon sneered, his eyes full of challenge. He drew his shadow sword. A black blade formed from pure, dark energy. The battle began. Dagon, with his extraordinary physical strength, attacked Xylon with a whirlwind of blows. But Xylon, though not as powerful, possessed superior speed and agility. He evaded Dagon's attacks, using the power of light to create protective barriers and countered with precise and effective strikes. The fight was extremely fierce. Both warriors gave their all, neither yielding an inch. But in the end, Xylon proved his strength. He defeated Dagon with a single blow, disarming him and pinning him to the ground. Dagon gasped, his eyes full of astonishment and admiration. You really are strong," he said. "Strength is not everything," Xylon replied, helping Dagon to his feet. "Discipline, tactics, and belief in your comrades, those are the factors that determine victory." After that battle, the respect of the demon-scale warriors for Xylon increased significantly. They began to listen to him, learn from him, and gradually, they realized that he was not an enemy, but a valuable ally. However, not everyone believed in Xylon. Some members of the council, especially Kale, still doubted and opposed him. They believed that Xylon was trying to manipulate Selena, and that he was just a pawn in a larger conspiracy. Kale approached Selena, expressing his worries. "Female leader," he said, his voice full of respect, but also unable to hide his unease. "I'm concerned about the Pureblood's influence on you. He is changing you, making you weaker and more vulnerable." Selena looked at Kale, her gaze cold. "Do you doubt my loyalty?" she asked. "No, female leader," Kale replied quickly. "I am only concerned for your safety and for the survival of the Demon-Scale clan. The Purebloods are not to be trusted." "Xylon has proven his worth," Selena said. "He has helped us prepare for the coming war. He has taught our warriors new skills. I trust him, but affection can cloud reason," Kale said. "You are risking too much, female leader. You are placing the fate of the Demon-Scale clan into the hands of a stranger." Selena remained silent for a moment. She knew that Kale had a point. She was trusting Xylon, a person from a race that she had hated for her entire life. It was risky. The intersection of storm and light. In the days that followed, Selena and Xylon immersed themselves in preparing for war. However, amidst the tense meetings and rigorous training sessions, they still found moments of peace, periods where they could share their innermost thoughts and feelings. One night, after completing their review of intelligence reports, Selena and Xylon sat together in the Blackface Garden. The garden, a strange oasis within the fortress, was decorated with exotic flowers that shimmered in the darkness. These flowers were created from cooled lava, meticulously carved into intricate shapes and illuminated by glowing obsidian stones. The air was still, with only the sound of wind passing through the mountain passes and the tinkling of dripping lava. Selena, relaxing her body, leaned back against a warm stone. Xylon sat beside her, quietly gazing at her face. "What do you think about the future, Xylon?" Selena asked, breaking the silence. Xylon pondered for a moment, then replied, "I think Aethelgard can become a better place. A place where the demon scale and Pureblood clans can live together, without war, without hatred." "Are you still that idealistic?" Selena asked, but her voice no longer held sarcasm. "Perhaps," Xylon replied, "but I believe that if we have no hope, then we have already lost." Selena looked up at the sky, where the waning moonlight was shining through the dark clouds. "I don't know if that can be achieved," she said. "There is too much hatred, too much suffering. I don't know if we can overcome it all." "We cannot do it alone," Xylon said, reaching out to take Selena's hand. "But if we try together, then we can do it. I believe in you, Selena. I believe that you have the strength to change the world." Xylon's hand was warm and steady, transmitting a new source of energy to Selena. She looked at him, her eyes gleaming with a spark of hope that she had once thought she had lost. "I hope so too," Selena said, squeezing Xylon's hand. "But I don't know if I have the strength to do it. I have had to do too many ruthless things. I have witnessed too much suffering. I don't know if I can become a good ruler." "You don't need to be perfect," Xylon said. "You just need to be yourself. Be the strong, decisive, and compassionate woman that I have met. Be Selena, Knight's Edge, who dared to overthrow a tyrant to protect her people." Selena smiled, a gentle and sincere smile. "You are so strange," she said. "You are the only person in this world who dares to say such words to me." "Perhaps it's because I'm not afraid of you," Xylon replied. "I respect you, I admire you, and perhaps I also love you. But I'm not afraid of you." Selena remained silent for a moment, then turned her face away, avoiding Xylon's gaze. She was unfamiliar with being loved, with someone seeing inside her true self. It made her feel confused, vulnerable, and utterly afraid. "Don't say such things," Selena said, her voice turning cold. "There can be nothing between us. I am the female leader of the Demon Scale clan, and you are a pure-blood warrior. We are enemies." "I don't believe that," Xylon said, gently lifting Selena's chin. "I believe that we can overcome all barriers, all prejudices. I believe that love can conquer all." Selena looked into Xylon's deep blue eyes, and she saw their sincere and unconditional love. A love that demanded nothing, judged nothing, just simply accepted her, loved her, no matter who she was, no matter what she had done. In that moment, Selena was unable to restrain her emotions. She reached out and embraced Xylon, burying her face in his shoulder, and wept. Those tears, the first tears in so many years, were not tears of weakness, but tears of release. She had finally found someone she could trust, someone she could love, and someone she could share the burden on her shoulders with. Xylon held Selena tightly in his arms, gently stroking her jet-black hair, and whispered comforting words. He said nothing, promised nothing, simply was there for her, letting her know that she was not alone. In that moment, amidst the darkness of the Demon Scale Garden, a flame of love and hope ignited, dispelling the dark clouds and bringing a glimmer of light to the future of Aethelgard. But they were unaware that this flame would also attract the attention of dark forces, those who were plotting to destroy their world. The coming war would not only be a war between two races, but also a war between light and darkness, between love and hatred, and between hope and despair. Blood-soaked dawn, forging eternal bonds. The piercing shriek of the siren tore through the tranquil night, shattering the lingering dreams within the black citadel. Selena bolted upright, her heart hammering against her ribs. She had awaited this moment for so long, but now that it had truly arrived, she couldn't shake off a sense of unease. Beside her, Carter had already awakened. He quickly donned his battle armor, his gaze unwavering and ready. "They're here," he said, his voice low and gravelly, but resolute. Selena nodded, rising to her feet. She draped a black cloak over her shoulders, caressed the demon scale mark on her back, and summoned her shadow blade. "Let's go," she said. "We have a war to fight." Together, they left the room, stepping into the corridor and joining the stream of people hurrying towards their battle stations. The Black Citadel had awakened, the demon scale warriors with tense faces preparing for a life-or-death struggle. As Selena and Carter emerged from the city gates, a scene of chaos and devastation unfolded before them. The Pureblood army, equipped with energy weapons and modern war machines, was relentlessly assaulting the demon scale's defensive line. Explosions echoed through the air, energy beams tore across the sky, and the agonized cries of fallen soldiers filled the air. Selena gritted her teeth, a surge of anger coursing through her. The Purebloods had betrayed her, launched a surprise attack, and inflicted tremendous damage on her people. "This is what they've chosen," Selena said, her voice laced with resentment. "Then we'll show them what the ferocity of the demon scales truly is." She swung her shadow blade, summoned a legion of nightmarish shadow creatures, and charged headlong into the enemy ranks. Carter followed close behind, his light powers radiating outwards, dispelling the darkness and healing the wounds of his comrades. The battle raged fiercely. Both sides fought with courage and unwavering determination. The demon scale warriors, driven by the need to protect their families and homeland, fought with a rare display of valor. The Pureblood warriors, equipped with advanced weaponry, attacked with chilling precision and ruthlessness. Selena, as the female chieftain, led the charge, plunging into the most dangerous areas, eliminating enemies with brutal and efficient strikes. Carter, acting as an ally, supported her, protected her, and instilled in her a sense of calm and hope. The two fought side by side, as if they had done it hundreds of times before. They coordinated seamlessly, complementing each other's weaknesses and forming an unstoppable force. As Selena and Carter fought, the warriors of both races began to realize something strange. They saw that their two leaders, whom they had once considered enemies, were fighting for a common goal: the survival of Aethelgard. They saw that, despite coming from different cultures, despite holding conflicting beliefs, Selena and Carter shared a compassion, a desire for justice, and a love for this world. And upon realizing that, the warriors began to fight not only for their own people, but also for a greater cause, a future where everyone could live in peace. The battle lasted all day. Blood flowed, and lamentations echoed across the battlefield. But as the sun began to peek over the horizon, a miracle occurred. The Pureblood army, after hours of combat, began to falter. They realized that they could not defeat the demon scales, and that this war would only lead to the destruction of both sides. And then, something unexpected happened. One of the Pureblood generals, who had witnessed the brutality of the war, decided to stand up against the council's orders. He lowered his weapon and called on the other soldiers to do the same. "Enough!" he shouted, his voice resonating across the battlefield. "We cannot continue killing each other. We must find a path to peace." The Pureblood soldiers, after a brief moment of hesitation, began to lay down their arms. They were tired of war, they were sick of hatred, and they were ready for change. Seeing this, the demon scale warriors also lowered their weapons. They had witnessed Carter's courage and nobility, and they believed in his promises of a better future. Silence fell over the battlefield. The sounds of heavy breathing, groaning, and the wind blowing through the ruins. Then a single clap echoed, followed by more claps, and finally, the entire battlefield erupted in a massive, endless applause. Selena and Carter stood amidst the battlefield, watching the people of both races embrace each other, crying, laughing, and beginning to heal the wounds of war. They had won, not by brute force, but by the power of love and compassion. As the dawn broke, a new future opened before them, a future where the demon scales and the Purebloods could coexist, without war, without hatred. Aethelgard, at last, had a chance to be reborn. Carter turned to Selena, his eyes radiant. "We did it," he said. "We changed the world." Selena smiled, a radiant and hopeful smile. "No, Carter," she said. "We're just getting started." She took his hand, and together they walked towards the future, towards a new Aethelgard, built on the foundations of love, justice, and peace. The radiant dawn illuminated the path ahead, dispelling all darkness and bringing a promise of a better world, where dirge had given way to a love song full of hope.